Welcome to Inside the Numbers Saturday, July 4th. Happy Independence Day, 250th anniversary. First thing I'm going to say is that I hope you guys enjoy the day today. Be safe out there. Be safe with if you're doing any fireworks or mortars. And don't light them off if you're drunk. You'll wind up becoming Jason Pierre-Paul of the New York Giants who blew off his hand.
You just pissed off half America saying that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We are live on YouTube and Rumble. We got a full slate of baseball games going on today. We got one going on right now with the Pirates and the Nationals. I actually have a play on this game at over 10.5 runs. It is tied 1-1 after the first inning. And the Pirates currently have a guy on first base with no outs. So I'm looking for a lot of runs in this game. They played this game real early today, probably due to the fact that all the celebration tonight in Washington, D.C., they want to get this game in and over before the festivities start. So let's get into some of the numbers here. We're going to go over real quick. Well, we have some slight numbers because there is another Canadian Football League game tonight. We have the Edmonton Elks at the British Columbia Lions. We have a very short line. I'll just put this out there right now. The Edmonton Elks are 3-0. The British Columbia Lions are 0-3. Yet the odds makers set this line only at 1.5. We got something fishy going on here. And currently, right now, this game doesn't start till 7 Eastern. We have 9% of the tickets, 54% of the money, and 45% sharp action likes the British Columbia Lions. We have a total that sits at 58.5. And as we've seen, last night was the first under in football last night. Now, bear with me. I got to turn on a light. All right, there we go. Okay, I was looking a little dark there. Anyway, as I was saying, so now the over is 13-3 because we had an under last night. That game should have went over. There were 49 points scored with about 5 minutes left in the game, and nobody could do any further scoring. Obviously, Saskatchewan was just going to run out the clock. I was watching some of it, and they just kept running, try to run out that clock because Ottawa couldn't score anymore. But tonight, I think we see another over because that just seems to be the trend that these games are going over the total. So I'm looking at an early lean right now of the British Columbia Lions plus 1.5, may even sprinkle a little bit on the money line. And also, I like the over in this game. So that's the only action we got going on tonight in other sport besides baseball. Who cares about the WNBA? We don't talk about that. But let's head over to Major League Baseball again. Like I said, we have a game going on right now with the Pirates and the Nationals. And I'm just going to get a quick look here. I think we just had a sacrifice. He might not even got it to first base. We might have 2 men on. Yep, we do. We have actually bases loaded, no outs for the Pirates. So let's go on to the next game that's going to start in about 2 hours. Minnesota Twins at the New York Yankees. Again, the Minnesota Twins have a terrible record at Yankee Stadium as they lost again last night. And that game fortunately stayed under the total. It didn't look like it was going to go that way, but it did stay under the total. So today we have the New York Yankees, interestingly enough, open at minus 168. They dropped down to 157. So we've had a line drop. 74% of the tickets, 56% of the money likes the New York Yankees, but we have 18% sharp action sitting there like the Minnesota Twins. This very well could be a Minnesota Twins spot. I say that because they're due. They're due to win the Yankee Stadium. Now, the way the Yankees have been playing lately, yes, they got a win last night, but they've been playing pretty mediocre and subpar baseball lately because since Aaron Judge went out, they just can't seem to hit the ball.
They have Stat now, too, don't forget.
Yeah. So, man, I can't see any kind of Rumble chat right now to see if I can answer anything. So, oh, there we go. Now I got it in there. Oh, C-Right. What's up, C-Right, over on the Rumble side? We have nobody on the YouTube side. We just have C-Right sitting in there on the Rumble side. Thank you for joining in, C-Right. Hey, and okay, let's continue with this game. The minus 1.5, 78% of the tickets, 16% of the money likes the Yankees at minus 1.5. Check this out on the other side, on the plus 1.5 side. 22% of the tickets, 84% of the money, 62% sharp action. Likes that plus 1.5. I'm going to take another look here. I'm going to see what kind of value it is on that 1.5. Yeah, it's only a plus 1.5, minus 145, which is low. So this could be a twin spot, possibly Twins plus 1.5, just to get that other security there. The game predictions only got 8.4 runs, and they have the Yankees winning by 1 run. So there's your 1.5 to cover there. The total sits at 10. 51% of the tickets, 85% of the money, 34% sharp action on the over. The Yankees, I can't recall the last time they played to an over at home. They played a lot of unders at home. So this could be an over spot.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Grass? What's your thoughts?
Well, over 4.5 for the Minnesota Twins, team total minus 106, under 4.5 minus 110. Under 5.5, minus 125 for the Yankees. It is juiced to the over at minus 111. This is according to Pinnacle. What I was going to take a look and see if I just pull up. I had it a second ago. Here we go. I'm trying to look at last 5 here and see if that trend is holding true. As soon as my computer stops spinning. All right, here we go. Yeah, so it was 5-2 last night, but the last few games 10-5, 10-9. I mean, there's a lot of run score between these two teams.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did the Tigers put up a bunch of runs on the Yankees?
Yeah, they absolutely did. Minnesota is 52, 30, and 31 to the over. Yankees are 38 and 44, so they do trend under, but Minnesota's trending over, and they have been putting up quite a bit of runs. I believe they won a pretty big series on the road earlier in the week, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, here's something I find interesting. Going back to what you said with the team totals, is that both team totals are juiced to the under, yet the actual total is juiced to the over.
Right.
Something to think about right there. The value is taking the over, Yankees over 5.5 at plus 107. And over 4.5 for the Twins at minus 106. There's your value right there. Yeah, I like this game going over the total.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Definitely.
All right, let's jump into the next game. This game starts at 4 Eastern. Bases loaded, 2-1 Pirates. No outs still. This will be a nice way to start the day here if I can get this game going. Anyway, Tigers at Texas, like I said. Tigers open up at minus 112. They're up to minus 120. 52% of the tickets, 27% of the money is on Detroit. Now, the ticket side for the Rangers is 48% of the tickets, 73% of the money, 25% sharp action. Likes the Rangers. Interestingly enough, Detroit went from minus 112 to minus 120. Texas, on the other hand, goes from minus 108 down to minus 101. Why would they're like going in complete opposite directions?
They are.
This could be a Texas Rangers spot. In fact, they are the number 2 most bet money line when it comes to money is on the Texas Rangers. So the Texas Rangers might be a spot here. 1.5 is to the Tigers at 47% of the tickets, 93% of the money, 46% sharp action. Likes the Tigers at minus 1.5. The total, interesting here. Open to 8, down to 7.5. 76% of the tickets, 37% of the money likes the over. On the flip side here, 24% of the tickets, 63% of the money, 39% sharp action likes the under. So do I. Got any thoughts on this game, Grass?
Yeah, a few. I like the fact that the public is on the over and they dropped it a half a run.
Yes.
If we're going to be on any kind of money side, I like to be on the sharp side. Obviously, that's what we try to do. The other thing that concerns me with this game is that Texas has 25% sharp action on their money line, yet they dropped it in the favor of Detroit. They're moving it that way. And 93% of the money on -1.5 for Detroit. That tells me with that much money on the run line that this should be a Detroit spot.
Yeah.
And Kumar Rocker is not one of the best pitchers in MLB. Let's just put it that way. Flaherty's been pretty solid for Detroit. Looking at, we are juiced to the under 8. Pinnacle has it at 8. We're going back to the total there. Both of these teams are their team totals are juiced to the over. Tigers over 3.5, -137. That's a lot of juice to pay for over 3.5.
Yep.
-119 for the over 3.5 so they're both favored to the over, but they like it going under.
Yeah. We have the same
It's kind of a
situation like
mixed
we did
signal
with the
there.
last game. Had the same
Yeah,
situation with the
exactly.
Yankee game. It's juiced to the under, yet the team totals are juiced to the over. I like the under here.
Yeah, I agree. I think the
Yeah,
under
I think
is-
I even
like
I
you
think
said.
I even wrote that down for later. Yep, I sure did. Under.
Just
Yeah.
seeing all 76%. That's a public bet. Those are all small tickets because there's only 37% of the money, and they dropped it. So I do like the under here.
Yeah.
But if I had to take a side, if it kept moving this way, we still have 4 hours plus. If that goes up to -127, -129 for Detroit, I think you hammer Detroit in that spot.
Yeah. Up 4-1 in the second inning.
Fucking Tigers, or not Tigers.
The
Pirates
Pirates.
on a roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a feeling the Pirates
like
are going to take this game with Ashcraft on the mound. I mean, we're already in the second inning, already halfway to the over.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, next game here. This was a pitching duel last night. This game starts at 4:10 Eastern with the Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners. This was fortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Fortunately, this was the only game I hit last night was the Blue Jays, because I went 1-3 last night. It was a terrible night last night, but I got through this one, and actually I cashed out on this play after the top of the ninth. I did not want to risk Seattle coming back in the bottom of the ninth inning, so I cashed out for like 96% of my bet. So I wasn't going to take a chance. But anyway, Seattle opened up at -163. They still sit at -163. 75% of the tickets, 44% of the money is on the Mariners. On the Blue Jays side, we have 25% of the tickets, 56% of the money, 31% sharp action likes the Blue Jays. They also like the Blue Jays at +1.5 with 43% of the tickets, 92% of the money, 49% sharp action likes the +1.5. Now, this is something we got to look for. We still got a long time before this game starts. So this is just all early action right now. These numbers can fluctuate. We can see that 49% on the run line drop tremendously. So we just got to watch these games as they get closer to first pitch, like probably within 45 minutes to an hour, to kind of see what things are happening there, because a lot of times we see late money coming in, just like on this game right now. There was a lot of late money that came in on the over. There was like no sharp action when I first opened it up this morning, and then all of a sudden all this sharp action came in on the over. So things to look for instead of like jumping in. I mean, obviously things are inevitable. Like if you got to go someplace or something like that, you just want to get your action in. But then again, that's what our phones are for. It's for late line moves. But it's always good to wait to try to get the best value on the line and see what the public's doing. Sharps tend to hit the game first and last, because they like to, sometimes if things don't go their way, they try to hedge just so they can keep from losing money. But most of the public comes in late. And that's the most important money you want to see, is what's coming in late. Obviously, sharp action is not public money. Those are sharp players.
Right. I think sometimes when you see the sharps betting early, they're trying to move that line a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for a certain line right before first pitch. That's my opinion. I don't know if they actually do that or not, but sharp money does move the line sometimes.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the Blue Jays and Mariners?
Yeah.
Oh, I should. Oh, I didn't say
Um,
anything about the total. The total's
no,
at
go ahead.
the total's at 7.5. Hasn't moved. 72% of the tickets, 88% of the money, 16% sharp action likes the over. I think this is another under spot too. Go ahead, Grass.
Yeah. With the total, I think you're going to see this drop to 7 with that amount of money that's on the over, especially since you got hours before this game starts. I have a feeling that you're going to see this come down to 7.
Yeah,
If it goes up to 8, I would be concerned, but I don't think that'll happen. The pitchers now. Let me
yeah.
see.
It's Bieber.
Bieber has a 6 ERA. Why
But
is the
what?
line? Why is
Why
that line
is the
so high?
total so low?
That too. That too. But there's a lot of sharp action on the plus 1.5, and like I said, you got a big pitching discrepancy here.
Yeah,
Um,
because Bieber got lit up. I think the last time he played one at
the last
Toronto, he
couple
got
times, if I'm not
yeah he
mistaken.
got lit up. And then you got to look at this, man, because okay, see, the Mariners ballpark is a pitcher friendly ballpark. But even if you got a pitcher coming in there with a high ERA, it's still, why is that total so low? Is he going to have a heck of a game today?
Both
Very
team
well
totals
could.
are also heavily juiced to the under.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up that game.
But it's slightly juiced to the over for the total over 7.5. Minus 107 to the over, minus 105 to the under. But
Yeah.
both of them are heavily juiced at under 3.5 and 4.5.
Here's one thing to keep an eye on those team totals. Notice the Blue Jays at over 3.5 is only plus 108.
Mm-hmm.
The over 4.5 for the Mariners is plus 118. Odds makers are begging you to take that plus 118 because there's a lot of value in that. Actually, too much value where the under is going to probably come in, the under 4.5.
It's a very good point.
But on the other side, it could go over. So, I mean, this is a tricky game there because if you take it by those numbers, the number lands on 8. Now we're over 7.5. So I'm probably not going to touch this game.
No, there's too many mixed signals for me.
Yeah, too many mixed signals on this game. Make it a pass for me.
For some reason, though, this is telling me Toronto. Me personally, on the plus 1.5, I'm going to keep an eye on that sharp action to see if it goes up or down.
Yeah.
If it starts evening out, then I know it's definitely a no play.
5-1 now. Here's another interesting game here. And I actually am leaning aside on this game, believe it or not.
I already know where you're going with this.
Because the Chicago White Sox against the Indians, they've already lost 2 in a row to the Indians. The Indians open up at minus 143, just slightly up to 144. 62% of the bets, 30% of the money likes the Indians. On the White Sox side, we have 38% of the tickets, 70% of the money, 32% sharp action on the White Sox. I actually like the White Sox in this spot. They also like the White Sox on the run line at 68% of the tickets, 99% of the money, 31% sharp action likes that plus 1.5. Now, that 99, obviously, Grass Guy, but the chat too. When you see 99%, that means it's still real early. That number's not going to stay at 99%. It's going to drop. Yeah. On the total side, 7.5. 36% of the tickets, 71% of the money, 35% sharp action likes the under. I believe last night's game went under too. Even with the Indians winning that game in the bottom of the ninth, that game still went under the total. I think the final was 4-3.
Right. Sean Burke, 3.69. Parker Messick, 2.85. How about this? The pitcher for Cleveland has not allowed a run in the first inning in 17 straight games he's pitched. The Nerfies juiced to minus 129. It's trending under so far. Let's see what else we got here. Over 3.5 Cleveland Guardians, minus 141. That's a lot of juice to pay for that.
Yep.
And under 3.5 for the White Sox, minus 112.
Yep. I see that.
Juice to the over 7.5, though, minus 113.
This is
I
interesting
don't know,
too, because
man.
I like the team total over for the White Sox because that's only at minus 105.
Yeah.
So we might have an over. See that we take that to 4. I don't know if that over 3.5 is going to hit for the Indian side because it's at minus 141. I have a feeling it's going to go to the minus plus 120 side. So we do the math there. That's under 7.5 runs, I think. And you got some tremendous value here taking under 7.5 at plus 100. That's even money. But I actually lean, and you notice the juice too on the plus 1.5 for the White Sox, minus 173. Yeah. I actually like the White Sox here.
I think that is the play. There's too many mixed signals with this total.
I think this game could go over the total.
What they've been doing so far. Let me see.
what do
4-3,
you got?
6-5, 4-3. I mean, they kind of go back and forth with this.
What's the ERAs on the pitchers?
I just had that 1 second. Sean Burke 3.69, Parker Messick 2.85.
Yeah, I like the White Sox here. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one. I'm gonna see if that through Pinnacle at plus 126. If that thing drops down to like plus 120, plus 118, the White Sox are going to be a play.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I want to see that plus money drop. In fact, I'm going to write that down right now for the White Sox plus 126. What's that rotation number? 919.
I'm with you on that one. I'm writing it down too.
White Sox. I'm going to write down plus 126 just so I got it in my memory here of what it's at right now. I'm going to do a quick little model projection here. Well, yeah, model projection's way off. They have the Indians winning by 1 run, 7.9 runs being scored. So that's over the total. But
well, the total is juiced like minus 113 over
Yeah.
7.5.
Which
makes me think the White Sox are going to score some runs today.
Yeah,
With that,
me too.
you know what I mean? With the value on the over team total and the juice going over the total, I think the White Sox are going to score some runs today.
Yeah, we might see an instance where we saw the other night when the Brewers had their ace going Robrowski, and the Reds lit them up.
Yep.
So we might see this guy with a low ERA for the Indians get lit up today by the White Sox.
Yes, it's very possible.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep my eye on that White Sox money line to see if that thing goes down. All right, here's a disappointing game for me last night. Another 7:10 Eastern time. The Rays at the Astros. I had the Astros last night because there was like a 20-point line drop in this game.
Yes,
everything pointed to the Astros last night. But things happen. Doesn't sometimes if every game hit that we wanted to, we own a casino and a sports book, but we don't.
Right.
Interesting on this game too. The line is 110 to both sides.
Correct.
44% of the tickets, 73% of the money, 29% sharp action likes the Astros. Can the Rays just keep winning and winning and winning and winning? Or is this a spot finally for them to lose? You can keep an eye on it.
The run line's very interesting, man.
Yeah, the run line's at plus 1.5 to the Astros. 64% of the tickets, 99% of the money, 35% sharp action likes plus 1.5. I'm going to take a look and see what the juice is on that run line. It is at plus 1.5 for the Astros, minus 183.
I thought you were going to say 200.
Yeah, well, close enough. I wouldn't lay that.
Close, yeah, it's close enough. It's close enough.
Both team totals are at 3.5. The Rays are at 3.5 to the over and under at minus 108. Astros over is plus 103, under minus 121. Think of that. Astros at plus 103 looks like value right there to go over 3.5 runs. So this is a tough game here, especially with the total heavily juiced to the over. I think this game could go over the total.
I got 7.5 down to 7 already. Do you have
Yeah,
that?
yeah. That's what I'm showing right
So
now.
they already dropped it with it's a 55-45 split in the tickets, and they already dropped it.
Yeah, keep an eye on that total because this total. I know some books are probably still going to have it at 7.5, but keep an eye on that total. This is from Pinnacle. See if that total jumps back up to 7.5 as you get closer to game time. I'm going to look
They'll
right
be
now.
interested in the money line to see if they keep it at -110 both sides. I bet you they don't.
What's interesting here is the 7.5. Oh, what? Wrong game. Yeah. Let's see. 7, 7, 7, 7. Yeah. No, there's no more 7.5s out there. They're all 7. Who's that's got 7.5 juiced minus 120. Yeah, BetGM's got it 7 minus 120 to the over. Something to watch out.
Yeah.
To watch. I don't have much opinion on this game just because the Astros burned me last night. What's up, Dog Spa and Grifter? I see you guys over there on the Rumble side.
What's up, guys? I was just keeping an eye on that. Grifter's right, though. Any of those Seattle, Minnesota, Detroit. I mean, Toronto. They gotta have some Toronto fans there too. You know, that's all. Northern
yeah.
part of the country.
Yeah, especially Detroit.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, Ed? Happy 4th, man. Fucking Ed's here every day. New guy here every day. I fucking love it.
Yep. Love to hear it.
Absolutely
love to see it. All right. Another game starts at 7. We got a lot of games that start at 7:10.
I know.
The Cincinnati Reds opened up at -125, up to -132. 48% of the tickets, 66% of the money, 18% sharp action likes the Reds. This could be another red spot here, especially with that line movement. They also like the Reds at the -1.5 with 36% of the tickets, 86% of the money, 50% sharp action on the -1.5. Numbers on the total, 9, still at 9. They have 54% of the tickets, 90% of the money, 36% sharp action likes the over. Trying to look on my chart here, see if I see that game. That game's not even on the schedule over there. Let's see what we got here through Pinnacle on this game. Orioles and Reds, 9.5, but it's juiced to the under. Now, the team total wise, on the Orioles side is at 4.5 to the over at -101, 4.5 to the unders at -116. On the Red side, 4.5 to the over at -114, to the under at -102.
Very odd how they're both have slight juice on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Like you got to pay no matter what. Do they not know what's going to happen in this game?
Yep. And Orioles are +1.5, -180. Interesting here.
It is.
I'm going to keep an eye on this game because this almost looks like an Orioles spot, especially with that 1.5 at -180. You're paying a lot of juice to take +1.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I have nothing. Me personally, I'm staying away.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything on this game either. I see too many mixed signals on that total, and I don't really like this side. Could I see the Reds winning the game? Yeah, I could, but no, I have no thoughts on this game. All right, this team burned me last night. The Mets. I had the Mets last night. They burned me last night. I thought everything pointed toward the Mets. They opened up as a dog. They closed as a favorite. Everything, and everybody was, and their brother was on the Braves last night. Everything pointed towards the Mets last night, and they lost that game 5-3. Stayed under the total. That was my free play to hit. I had that game going under the total.
Yeah, well, this is how you know when you're on a losing streak, Ghost. When you're everything you're doing just seems to be wrong. Because this game, I looked at it and I said the same thing you did, and I said, you know what? Mets stink against the Braves. I don't care what the line says. The Braves should be the play. But I didn't play it, and I was right about it. And then the ones I do play, losing extra innings, just dumb shit. And like, come on. That's how you know. When even the ones you fade and say, I should play this, but I'm not going to, and they win, and then the ones you do play, they lose, that's how you know you're on a couple-day bender.
The Braves are the third most bet
I'm sure
tickets
they are.
today. The Braves are. So you take that for what it's worth. Braves open up at -175 down to -171. 90% of the tickets, 48% of the money likes the Braves today. 10% of the bets or tickets, 52% of the money, 42% sharp action likes the New York Mets.
How come they only moved the line 3 points then?
Yeah.
Why
And
wouldn't they move that more?
they also like the Mets at +1.5 at 14% of the tickets, 81% of the money, 67% sharp action likes +1.5. Total sits at 8. No sharp action on either side, and it's split evenly. 54% of the tickets, 54% of the money likes the over, 46% of the bets, 46% of the money likes the under. I'm staying away. Any thoughts on you, Grass?
You got to stay away from this game. You have to. Especially what happened last night when everything showed you it was going to be the Mets and the Braves ended up winning pretty easily.
Yep.
Here's why you got to stay away from this crap. Over 8, -107. Under 8, -105.
Too close to call.
Way too close to call. Way too close. They're calling for both unders in the game. Then why is it slightly, team totals are under. -115, under 3.5 for the Mets. -120, under 4.5 for the Braves. Why is this juice to the over? Slightly.
Yep.
Like this is nothing for me. There's no way. There's no signal that tells me anything here.
No. We go. This is another interesting game here. Cardinals and Cubs. We go from a 11.5 point total down to 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They've been 11.5 for the last couple days at Wrigley Field now.
Yeah. The Cubs opened up at 156. They're at 162 now. 70% of the tickets, 65% of the money is on the Cubs at -162. We have a slight 5% sharp action that likes the Cardinals. 1.5, 53% of the tickets, 80% of the money, 27% sharp action likes the Cubs at -1.5. Total sits at 8. 38% of the tickets, 78% of the money, 40% sharp action likes the under. I actually think the under is the only play here. After all those runs were put up yesterday on that game yesterday, I think this is an under spot. And I'm actually going to check the weather and see. Yeah, their only model projection is only 8.5 runs. Whether we have 6.9 mile an hour winds blowing from left field down to first base. So there's not much wind today.
Right.
I'm going to pull up the numbers here from Pinnacle and see what they're saying about this game on the.
I'm looking at that now, and this might be a stay away for me for that reason. I'll let you go ahead and read them out, but you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, the Cardinals are slightly juiced to the under at -110. The over is -106. The Cubs, however, -127, 4.5 to the under, +108 to the over. Now, the over.
Why are the Cardinals -106 and -110 over under? Why is it that close? You don't see that.
No, that's because you got money coming in on both sides here. But people don't think the Cubs are going to score any runs today. I like the over 4.5 at +108. That's where the value's at.
That is where the value's at. I agree.
But this is probably a stay away because if you start doing some simple math and all this stuff, all the numbers either land on 7 or right on 8. So this is going to be a stay away for me. I don't see any value in the game. The Cubs will probably win the game, but there's just no value otherwise. You got any thoughts on it?
No, I'm completely with you. The numbers aren't showing us much. It's too tight either way, which tells me either the books don't know what they're doing or, don't know what's going to happen in this game, or they want equal money on both sides because of that. So if that's the case, then there's no clear direction in where to go there. That's my opinion.
No, this game starts at 8:10 Eastern. Phillies at Royals. Phillies opened up at minus 150, jumped up to 156, 83% of the tickets, 85% of the money, 2% sharp action. Likes the Phillies here. They also like the Phillies on the minus 1.5 run line at 75% of the tickets, 95% of the money, 20% sharp action. Likes the minus 1.5. Total sits at 9. 44% of the tickets, 96% of the money, 52% sharp action. Likes the over. Thoughts?
Yeah. Originally I had under 9 written in this game because both pitchers are pretty good. Matter of fact, pitcher for KC, he's up in the top tier there for quality starts, things of that nature. I just think there's too much money on the Phillies they should be at minus 180 something with 85% of the money on that money line and 95% of the money on the minus 195, minus 1.5, excuse me. I just think this line should be further apart than what it is on the money line. I kind of like, and the way Watcher's been pitching, I'm kind of leaning the Royals here. And they have burned me a couple of times, so I probably shouldn't. But I kind of like that.
Model projection, 7.9 runs.
Yeah, I originally had the under because I just thought there was too much money on the over, and I thought it would even out. But the sharp money has actually gone up a couple percent since I've looked at this.
Yeah, I'm going to come back and look at this game for the under later. What I want to look at,
what I'm thinking.
What I want to look at is when we only have 4% of the money on the under. I want to watch that number there and see if it rises as we get closer to game time.
Yep.
I know there's 56. I know there's 56% of the tickets and 4% of the money, but I want to watch that number right there. If that number climbs up to say 10, 12%, we might have a play here on the under.
Yeah, because then you're getting money on the under. Exactly.
Yep. I'm going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, but I am going to keep an eye on this money line. I know it's going the other way, but just the way the Kansas City pitcher has been throwing recently, I think KC might have a shot to win this one.
Yeah, the other thing I like too is that the line opened up at 9 and it hasn't moved.
It has not moved. With all that money on one side, it has not moved.
Yeah, in fact, bear with me. I'm actually going to write this total down so I can keep an eye on it.
I'd love to see it drop to 8.5.
Hard Rock's got it at 8.5 right now.
Oh, well, there you go. That means it's going in that direction, I guess.
Yeah, let's see. How many books have it? Hard Rock's got it 8.5, juiced to 150. Oh, no, actually, it's juiced 140 to the over. Yeah, they're the only book out there that's got 8.5 right now. Oh, ESPN Bet. Do they even exist anymore? But they have it. And Pinnacle's got a juice to the same on both sides. 9 to the under at minus 106. I'm going to keep an eye on that. All right, let's head over.
I'm seeing DraftKings under 9 minus 113, over 9 minus 106.
Okay, there you go. There's an indication. All right, let's take a look at the Giants at the Rockies. The Giants got absolutely destroyed last night by the Rockies.
I'm sorry, Ghost. I just want to add this thing because I said something about the side on that one. It looks like the plus 1.5 is minus 126.
You talk about for the last game, the Cardinal or the Royals and the Phillies.
So that's another indication you got to pay juice for the plus 1.5.
Yeah, plus 1.5 for the Royals at minus 120. I'm going over looking at the totals right now.
I'm seeing minus 126 on DraftKings. So that's what I'm getting at. That's another indication to go to the side there. I just wanted to add that before we moved on. My bad.
And here's another thing too. Through Pinnacle, both overs are heavily juiced. Philly side is juiced at 4.5 to the over at minus 128. The Royals are juiced to the over at 3.5 to minus 125. But on the underside, it's only plus 109 and plus 107. So your value is on the under.
Yep.
I think this game's going under the total.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I'm going to keep an eye. Yeah, no problem, man. Okay, let's head over to, like I said, the Giants and the Rockies.
Yeah.
This game, another game that starts at 8:10 Eastern. Last night, the Giants got absolutely destroyed by the Rockies. I mean, destroyed.
Sure did.
But interesting. The Giants opened up at minus 131. They're up to minus 132. 53% of the tickets, 66% of the money, 13% sharp action. Likes the Giants. They also like the Giants on the run line at minus 1.5 at 55% of the tickets, 83% of the money, 28% sharp action. Likes that minus 1.5 total. Opened at 11.5. It is now up to 12. 53% of the tickets, 81% of the money, 28% sharp action. Likes the over. Thoughts? Think this game's going over again?
That's the way it was looking. I was looking at the pictures. I guess Colorado. I don't know who this guy is, but if you look on the one site that we use, it says to be determined. So I went over to Betting Pros, and it says Sugano is his last name. 5.02 ERA, 9-7 record. It looks like the Yurfie is juiced at minus 150, which is unheard of. Here's my problem though. Both team totals are juiced to their unders.
Yep, I noticed that. And model projection, 11.3 runs.
Yeah, I'm seeing Pinnacle over 12, minus 105, under 12, minus 107.
Yeah, that's
like I said, both team totals are juiced to the under. So I'm not sure what to think.
Yeah, and the value is actually on the over on each side because it's not out of whack. The Giants are at 6.5 to the over at minus 101. And the Rockies are 5.5 to the over at plus 103. So it's not like they're putting something in there to beg you to take the other side, like putting like plus 130. This is a plus 103. It's telling you the odds makers, I think this game's going to go over that 12 runs. I'm going to double check what the weather is. I know it's been hot out there. 87 degrees, 9.2 mile an hour blowing from right to left. And like I said, model projection is at 11.3 runs. I think this might be another over.
The last few games, 15-3, 19-6, 8-3, 8-6. Those are the last four head-to-head. They're killing that over, except for that 8-3, which was 11 runs.
Yeah. Robbie Ray for the Giants has a 3.39 ERA. Sean Sullivan for the Rockies, 8.64 ERA.
I think you have to look at the bullpens in this game.
Yeah.
Because I think that's who's got the more rest bullpen wise here, because they've been getting used pretty well.
Rockies probably have the most rest since they blew out the Giants last night. They probably didn't have to use anybody.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But the Giants probably had to use bullpen relief. So I think this is an over spot here. I don't have it wrote down, but I will take a look at it later. It is the fourth most bet tickets on this game is the over 11.5. So
fourth most bets.
Fourth most.
I worry about the first one because they usually lose. The first,
yeah.
the most heavily bet games usually lose. At least that's been the trend.
Yeah, they went 2 and 3 last night on their totals. They hit a lot of their money line bets, but totals they went 2 and 3. So they've been under 500 all week on their totals.
Right. Supporting says ESPN Bet is now the score, and Grifter says ESPN uses DraftKings now, at least on their website. Jamie, what's up, man?
What's up, Jamie? All right, you got anything further on this game? Can move on.
No, not really. Yeah, no, that's all I got really. It's not enough for me to pull the trigger on anything here.
Yeah, let me get to the next game. The next game I looked at, I didn't have a total. I still don't. No, I don't have a run line, which is the Red Sox at the Angels. This game starts at 9:30 Eastern. Red Sox open up at minus 167. They're up to minus 171. 90% of the tickets, 91% of the money, 1% sharp action likes the Red Sox. Again, these numbers are going to change. So these are just morning numbers. We have no run line right now. Totals at 8.5. 34% of the tickets, 44% of the money, 10% sharp action likes the over. Last night's game looked like it was going to go over, wound up going under. The Red Sox put up all kinds of runs, but then the Angels couldn't score. So
That's probably
I don't really have an opinion on this game just because I don't see anything that just like flashes at me. Say take this game. How about you, Grass?
Well, Sonny Gray's on the mound for the Red Sox, and he hit the Yankees into the 8th inning or whatever it was his last start. The guy's been pitching out of his mind. I think he's looking to get moved before the deadline. So his stock is rising big time. And we know how the Angels are, unfortunately, especially without Trout. You know, that guy can't play a full season. I have a feeling this could be a blowout in the Red Sox favor. That's just my opinion based on what I've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to look at some numbers on Pinnacle right now and see if they're giving me any other indication here. Red Sox -1.5 plus 104, so it's actually juiced to the plus 1.5 for the Angels. That's a bad sign. Under 8.5 is juiced to -109. Red Sox under 4.5, over 4.5 -114. Angels under 3.5 -117. That goes in my favor of what I like. Other than that, like I said, I know how Sonny Gray's been. Is he going to do it again tonight? Don't know. But I can just see the Red Sox just kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah, I know you got a lot of value on that Red Sox -1.5 too. It's only plus 104.
So that's the only thing that worries me. I think that should be about -125, and that's the only thing that worries me a little bit.
Yeah, well, you never know. It's still early. That thing could drop down and go through zero.
Yeah,
it's only a
I'm
plus
just seeing
104.
so many tickets and so much money on the money line. Why are you still paying juice on the -1.5? Or you're not paying juice on the -1.5? You're getting value there. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this game could go under the total too, just because the value is on the Red Sox under 4.5, and it's on the values on the over 3.5 for the Angels, and which would create an under the total. So I don't have much of an opinion on this game right now because it's way too early.
It is way too early.
Yeah, I'm going to check and see what model projections got 8.4 runs being scored, and they got the Red Sox winning by 1 run. So I don't have much thoughts on this game. So how about you? Any further?
Besides me thinking that Boston can win this 7-1 easily, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to have to see if that money evens out a little later. You know, there's a lot of factors, but based on what I'm seeing here and just watching the last couple of Sonny Gray starts, you know, on TV, the guy's been lights out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So him going up against better lineups than what he's facing tonight and pitching that well, what makes me think he's not going to do the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. All right, next game starts at 9:40 Eastern. The Marlins back at the Vegas or whatever team without a home Athletics. The Marlins opened up at -120, jumped up to -131. 73% of the tickets, 94% of the money, 21% sharp action likes the Marlins. Here's something that's interesting here. Obviously, this is going to change throughout the day. Is they like the Athletics at +1.5 with 45% of the tickets, 86% of the money, 41% sharp action likes the Athletics at +1.5. Total sits at 11, hasn't moved. 56% of the tickets, 65% of the money, 9% sharp action likes the over. Let's get another breakdown here. Let me get to that game and see what we got here. The 11 is juiced to the over at -111. And here's something that's interesting. We have both the over for the Marlins, over 5.5, juiced -122 to the over. Athletics under 5.5, juiced to the under at -136. Yeah. So both totals are at 5.5, or team totals are at 5.5. This makes a very interesting dilemma here because the under 5.5 for the Marlins is at +104, and the over 5.5 is at +116. Interesting how these are split like that. I don't have much of an opinion on this game right now. I mean, obviously, we got a lot of time. A lot of things can change between there. Will this game go over the total? Maybe. I mean, they did soar over the total last night. Could this be a spark for the Athletics? Don't know right now. As of what I'm seeing, it's it's way too early. It's 10 hours before this game starts.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I do. So I was looking into this. I'm partially biased. I like them. They're a likable team, the Marlins. I like to
Oh
see them
yeah,
win. I like
everybody
the
likes the
style.
fish.
Yeah, yeah. That being said, I looked into this game. I thought the line should be a little wider open than it is, minus 131 to plus 108. I thought Miami would be favored a little higher, especially with the amount of tickets. The pitcher for Miami is in the top tier of the league this year in quality starts, strikeouts per nine. Alejandro, however you say his name, he's really good. Seeing the total set that high worries me a little bit because I thought maybe he would kind of shut them down a little. I like Miami in this spot.
Here's the
I
thing.
know there's a lot of sharp action on the plus 1.5. Obviously, there's a long time for this game. But I like the pitcher from Miami. So it kind of makes me in that direction.
Yeah, the model projection has the Athletics winning this game.
Okay.
And with 10.6 runs being scored.
Not saying they can't.
No, I'm not saying they can't either. Especially in that ballpark. Teams can explode.
Yes. Yes, they can. But that's my early lean on that. Like I said, I'm partially biased because I like the team. But
okay, how many more games we got? Okay,
Not
two
much.
more games.
2? Yeah.
Yeah, two. I don't have a run line on this game either for the Brewers and
No, I don't either. And
Diamondbacks. That was a big letdown last night. The Brewers opened.
Tell me about it.
I
God.
know. The Brewers opened up at minus 149 up to minus 156. They are at 82% of the tickets, 97% of the money, 15% sharp action as of right now. Likes the Brewers. No run line right now, but total went from 9 to 9.5. 51% of the tickets, 76% of the money, 25% sharp action. Likes the over. This is the number 2 most bet total ticket wise at BetMGM. So take that for what it's worth. I actually wrote this game down as an under 9.5 just because they put up 11 runs last night and they played 11 innings last night. So take that for what it's worth. I think this game could go under the total. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Even though they raised it from 9 to 9.5, they're just moving it with the money.
Yeah.
Let's pull up what Pinnacle's got to say on this game here with that, especially with that total. Okay, the 1.5 is kind of favoring the Brewers and minus 1.5 plus 109. The total is juiced to the under at minus 112. Team total wise, the Brewers under 5.5 to the under is at minus 128 plus 110 to the over. Diamondbacks are at minus 141, 3.5 to the over, and plus 120 to the under. We have just a difference there. I don't know what to make out of this game, but math-wise, if you want to do the math and all that, this game's going under the total. Especially if you take the juiced numbers, it goes under the total. So as of right now, and with the juice to the under, I like under 9.5 runs.
I really don't know what to think here. Diamondbacks, like you said, over 3.5, minus 141. How come they haven't moved that up? That's a lot of juice to pay on that. They haven't moved that to 4.5.
No.
I mean, you got to figure if you're paying that much on it, they're expecting 5 or 6 runs out of them, you would think.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't have a strong enough signal on this game. Arizona broke my fucking heart last night because that was the right side. Just that.
It was the right side. Like I said, it went into extra innings. You get that extra man on base, and that really screws things up when they put that extra man on base to speed up the game. It's just an unfortunate. Yeah, I know the Diamondbacks were the right side last night, but
damn, pissed me off.
Things happen.
I'm sure that game was in the bag.
Okay, last game tonight on the card. I'm going to do a quick refresh because I don't have a run line on this one. I'm going to see if it pops up now.
I don't have one either.
Is the Padres against the Dodgers. The Padres pretty much manhandled actually, no, they lost that game.
What do you mean they lost that game?
The Dodgers came back and won the game last night.
You're kidding.
No.
Well,
the Dodgers
they
came
were
back and won.
kicking Otani's ass yesterday.
Yeah,
I
they
guess the bullpen fucking gave it up.
yep, they lost the game 4-3.
Holy shit.
So Otani got a no decision.
Yep. He sure did. Wow.
So this one opened up at minus 271 for the Dodgers, down to minus 259. 94% of the tickets, 91% of the money likes the Dodgers. Now there's literally nothing on the Padres side. 6% of the tickets, 9% of the money, and 3% sharp action on the Padres at plus 209. Total sits at 8.5, has not budged. 46% of the tickets, 53% of the money, 7% sharp action likes the under. This is at 10:10 Eastern. That's over 12 hours before this game starts. I have no opinion on it.
Well, Padres under 3.5 minus 134. Dodgers under 5.5 minus 136. But the total at 8.5 is juiced minus 111 to the over.
Yeah. That tells you something. Why is it juiced to the over?
Doesn't make sense.
Nope. Does not make sense. Yeah. I think this game.
Something
I think this
weird there.
Yeah, I think this might be an over spot.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, they played.
I know. I mean, shit.
They played under last night.
Yeah. And I believe Yamamoto's on the mound.
Yeah, against Peralta. Peralta has a 2.38 ERA. Yamamoto has a 2.67 ERA.
I'm seeing Griffin Canning for San Diego.
Yeah, I on CBS Sports they have Peralta. Let me go to my other site here and see who they have.
And he's got a terrible.
Yeah, they have Canning on this site. They have Canning. Yeah, so I think we got to do a little
7 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
And both team totals are juiced to the under, but the total for the game is juiced to the over. I think this is an over spot.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Dodgers will probably get 8 runs themselves.
I'm going to go on CBS Sports, and I'm going to see, or not CBS Sports, but the MLB. Yeah, it's just because he pitched last night.
So fucking what?
Okay, now this is according to MLB, the MLB.com. They have Peralta starting tonight with a 2.38 ERA, Yamamoto at the 2.67 ERA. This is according to MLB.com.
Okay, that's weird.
Maybe there was a last-minute switch. I don't know.
There could have been.
But you got 2 guys with low ERAs, but yet that total's at 8.5.
Right, but the team totals are juiced to the under. What the fuck?
Yeah, you would think that with 2 guys with pretty decent ERAs, this would be like a 7.5 total. Why is it 8.5?
Yeah, and juiced to the over.
Yep. I think this might be an over spot. And Yamamoto's been known to give up a few runs.
Yeah. Not as much as Sasaki, but yes. Yeah, I'm writing this one down for later for sure. I don't know what kind of condition I'll be in by the time that goes off, but whatever.
Yeah. I got a birthday party to go to. My grandson turns 3 today. He was born on the 4th of July. So I'll be at a birthday party this afternoon. But that covers the whole.
That's it. That's the slate.
That covers the whole schedule today. I think that's why the model projection in this Padres Dodgers game is at 9.4 runs because they have Canning listed.
Be interesting to see if they change that total later. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because something doesn't smell right there.
No, I need some more friggin' runs in this game now. Never thought I was going to be asking for more runs in this game. I mean, we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's still 5-1.
What do you got? 9.5?
Huh? Well, I got it closed at 10.5. I got 9.5 on Kelce. But I go by what
we got some good spots today. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I'm looking at that Yankees game going over the total. I'm going to double check that spread right now. I like the Yankees game going over 10 runs, especially now. I just did a refresh. There's only 52% of the tickets and 86% of the money, 34% sharp action, likes it going over 10 runs. So we got a lot of sharp action and not a lot of tickets.
Right.
It's just slightly juiced to the under. I have a funny feeling that the Twins are going to win today.
I listen. I'm with you on that.
And if it is a Twins game, this game's going over the total. Who's pitching for the Yankees today? Beck. Oh, I gotta tell my wife this. Brendan Beck is pitching for the Yankees today. My sons went to school with him.
Oh, no
They
kidding.
Nice. Yeah, they went to elementary school and junior high. They went to school with him. He's a pitcher for the Yankees. I gotta tell my wife this. She's gonna want to watch it. Oh, by the way,
you better fade the over then.
On Kalshi, I only did it for $1. I threw $1 on Joey Chestnut to eat over 70 hot dogs.
You did?
Yeah. only $1.
I was listening to Will and Beardo talking about that yesterday on their show.
Yeah. Brendan Beck's got a 6.0 ERA.
Yeah.
And Zebby Matthews has a 4.15 ERA. So yeah, I'm taking the over.
I don't blame you. I'm writing it down myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell my wife. Beck is for the Yankees. He was called up from AAA for this game. I hope your call is right on the Twins win game. Yeah, well, that's just a hunch.
Yeah.
He's Brendan Beck has had Tommy John surgery before. And so yeah, he's back to pitching again. He had Tommy John surgery very young before he even got called up to the majors. So when he was down in the minors, he had to have Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
both
can't over them because then you're betting against that pitcher that your kids went to school with.
Yeah, I know. His older brother pitches for the San Francisco Giants.
Oh no,
he's a relief pitcher for the Giants. He used to be with the Braves, and now he's with the Giants.
Damn, that's great. That is great.
Well, I don't have anything else for you guys today. Got to add anything, Grass Guy?
Well, I can say that I like the Canadian football game. I like the BC Lions, without a doubt.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, I'll reiterate on that one, guys who weren't in the chat when we first got here. We went over the Canadian Football League game tonight with the Edmonton Elks and the British Columbia Lions. We spotted something in this game. Edmonton is 3-0 on the road at the BC Lions, who are 0-3. Yet the point spread was only 1.5.
Right.
Only 1.5 for a team that hasn't won a game. So there's something fishy with that line. We are both leaning on the Lions at plus 1.5, and I also like the game going over the total.
Remember, they're begging you to take the favorite in that game. They are fucking begging you to take it.
Yeah, I like it going over because the overs. I know last night's game went under the total by, I think it ended on 49 points, and the total closed at like 56.5. They just needed one score. Mm-hmm. But anyway, a lot of times, you know something I noticed? They don't play 4 downs. They only go 3. They only go 3 downs. They go 3 downs, and you can go for it. If you don't make it, it's a turnover on downs. So instead of 4 downs in the NFL,
you have to go for it, don't you?
Yeah. Well, some guys don't, especially if they're midfield. They don't go for it. They punt. So there's only
they punt on 3rd down.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. I didn't know that. Holy shit.
Yeah. I just realized it the other day. They do 2. They can go to. They can do 2-point conversions. They can do the extra point. They got challenges and stuff just like they do in the NFL. They're only allowed so many challenges.
Right. Grifter has a great question. Go ahead and read that out.
Does a position player coming off the IL move the line much? Depends on the player.
Well, that's
a player like Soto or Judge might. I'm thinking about Buxton returning to the lineup for the Twins.
That's a big addition. That
Yeah,
dude's a killer.
that is a big addition, especially for the pitcher wise, because now they got to worry about the guy in front of them because he's a protection.
That's right. Yeah, Buxton is he's a difference maker in that lineup for sure. And I did not catch that. That's a great catch, Grifter, because I didn't realize he was back in the lineup. And I looked right at the fucking lineup and didn't realize it. See, that's why we have you guys here. We're not perfect. But yeah, I think I like the Twins even more now.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on this game.
Yeah.
Definitely. It I might be leaning on a double play here.
Little Kalshi combo.
Yeah, a little Kelce combo, taking the Twins and the Twins and Yankees over the total. So I'm thinking about it. I mean, got an hour before this game starts.
Yeah. Grifter says they used to kick a field goal from near midfield when the goalposts were in the front of the goal line. Like they used to be in the NFL back in the day.
You know what's crazy? There's a lot of players that didn't make it in the NFL or were cut. They might have been on like practice squads or whatever. They play up there. In fact, one of the coaches for I don't know which team. I don't know if it's British Columbia or Calgary. He used to play for Boise State. His name is he was a quarterback at Boise State named Brian Dinwiddie. He's one of the coaches up there.
I remember him.
He's one of the coaches. He's one of the coaches up there. He got drafted in the NFL and then he got cut. He didn't make it.
Yeah, but besides that, I'm starting to look at the Twins now, so we'll keep an eye on that later.
Oh, he's safe.
The Texas game under 7.5. I'm looking at the Marlins also, and I'm looking at the White Sox.
I'm looking at the White Sox later. Right now, obviously, I got the Pirates and Nationals going over the total. And I'm still looking at this Twins and Yankees. I know we got about an hour before that game starts. I think it starts at 1:30 Eastern.
Yeah, 1:30, 1:35. First
yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, wait till I tell my wife this.
Dog Spa says James Woods turned my $5 into $60 on his first plate appearance. That's what we're talking about. I like it.
Yeah, here's another interesting tidbit too for the Yankee game. They opened up at minus 175. They're down to minus 147 now.
Ooh.
We have a 30-point drop.
So keep an eye on that fucking money line also if you guys have any of these books that we follow. See where that goes in the next half hour or so. That'll tell you a lot.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if I'm doing a show tomorrow or not. Sundays are always tricky. I knew I was going to be around today. I don't know. What do you got going on today, Grass Guy, today and tomorrow?
Going over my sister-in-law's in Greenville. Built-in pool, barbecue, that whole fucking thing.
Well, there you go.
And tomorrow's a no-go because tomorrow is the wife's birthday.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I'm not sure. I probably just want to do a video.
Coming over here, and we're going to do something over there. So I'm really not going to have a chance to.
Oh, you know, I should give you guys I'm going to give you guys out a free play right now. Take the Cardinals and Cubs under the total.
There you go.
Cardinals, Cubs under 8 runs. There's your free play for the day. I think we've got end of the 5th, so he must have got called out. So they had a replay going. 5-1, man. Need some friggin' runs now.
Yes, you do.
Didn't think I was going to need runs, and now I need them.
I got to turn this fucking ship around somehow. I think I got some good looks today. I hate when I go through these 3-day fucking bullshit vendors. It makes me start questioning what I'm looking at, and just like we were talking about off air before. I hate it.
Yeah, I get it.
But I know it's going to be over soon, so we'll see. Oh, Morocco plays today. I know we don't do soccer, but because of Jamie, I put that bet in before the World Cup started. I got them at like 2 cents.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they're big favorites against Canada today. If they can make the quarterfinals, I can cash out and make some money.
All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. Again, free play today. I gave you Cardinals, Cubs under 8 runs. I'll probably make a standalone video too on that. Just so actually, I don't need to make a standalone video. I just say view it here. Yeah, since I did this live. The replay will be up on YouTube and Rumble. You can see it. Again, free play today. Cardinals, Cubs under 8 runs. You got anything further to add, Grass Guy, before we wrap it up?
I guess that's about it. Well, for the YouTube side, come over to Rumble, Grass Guy 0313. We do smash or pass, whether we're going to smash these things and bet on them or we're going to pass them. We do last second line movements at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern. So come on over, check us out. Ghost is on there. He does a show on that side too. So come on over and check us out. We got a pretty good audience over there.
Yep. Our audiences are growing, and we greatly appreciate it. We're just trying to give you a breakdown instead of breaking down stats and statistics on these games. We break down what the numbers are doing, because that's pretty much when you're wagering, it's all about the numbers.
Yeah. Line movements and percentage of money. It tells you an awful lot. Then you can go check your trends out and everything after that and see if they match up.
Yep. All right, guys. We're gonna wrap it up. We're out of here. You guys have a great day today. Enjoy the 4th of July. Please be safe out there with drinking and fireworks and all that stuff.
Yes.
Because it could get wild out there no matter where you live. With mortars and shit like that going off all day and night, freaking out your dogs and all that stuff. But
remember this: nothing good happens after midnight.
That's true.
Remember that.
Yep, that's right, man. All right, you guys have a great day. Good luck tonight. May all your wagers come true. We'll be back at you sooner than later. All right, we're out. See you guys.